Cork 19 points, Meath 3-14. Matthew, where did it go wrong?
Jesus, like I don't know. Like I thought the McGrath Cup, we turned the corner. Beating Kerry, doing so well against Limerick. Like Kevin Walsh coming in to coach defensively, even at half time, 11 points to 1-6, and you're thinking the new Cork it is back. Then Jordan Morris scores a goal, and I honestly, like, it's just yearly at this point. I don't know when it's going to stop. Like maybe we overrate our players a bit too much as well. Like I've rated Sean Meehan and Daniel O'Mahony on this channel a few times at centre back and full back, and I was hoping we'd build a partnership there, but it just wasn't there at the weekend. We were all over the place defensively. And even in the forwards as well, like we had no players to take the Meath players on. Like usually when we go past the 45, we turn around, hand pass again. We were doing that against Derry last season in Old Big. I mean, like we thought in the McGrath Cup against Limerick particularly, I know it's only Limerick, but when you look at the game against Limerick in full, we were kicking the ball, we were threatening the opposition with intricate passes. But this time, yesterday was just dreadful. Even like you had no player that could break a line. Like, to be honest, the only players that were willing to break a line were probably Sean Powter, Matty Taylor, and I would say Chris O'Jones as well. The rest of them, I mean, it was just ridiculously bad to watch, really. Like, the midfield wasn't particularly bad. Colin McCallum, Liam Maguire, I actually think we won the midfield battle pretty handily. But it's just the basic, defending basics, like. Even the Shane Walsh goal when Kevin O'Donovan gets turned, but I'd be questioning who's in behind, and just some basics as well. Like even the Micheál Martin save in the first half, the warning signs should have been there. Like even Jason Scully, I think, had the ball, and Sean Meehan, he retreats, and you're thinking, what are you taught of as 6 and 7-year-old young GA players? Go to the danger. None of the Cork players were going to the danger. They were chasing the B players all over the fields. They were running in different directions. The Killian O'Sullivan goal, the third goal, really took the biscuit. I mean, how much space do you need? I mean, it was just, it angered me, to be honest, Aaron, after, weeks of people saying the Kevin Walsh effect, it's taking effect now. Kerry didn't really have a goal chance in the McGrath Cup. Limerick, but I said it last week. I said it on my live stream last week on my GS Statsman YouTube channel. The 2 goals Limerick scored will not impress Kevin Walsh, and we have to be wary of this. Don't make the same errors like we did against Limerick, against Meath. And we did it even worse. How is that possible? It's just it was just frustrating to watch, to be honest with you. Like the first half wasn't particularly bad. Like we scored 11 points. Then in the second half, like coming into the game, if you said Cork would score 19 points, I'd be thinking 2 points on the board. Okay, we'll move on to Kildare next week. We could go into the Dublin game with a bit of confidence in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. But somehow we lost. We conceded 3 goals, 3 sloppy goals, 3 avoidable goals as well. And I actually think this Meath team, I don't think they're that good. And we made them look like prime Dublin at times. I mean, it was very, very bad to watch. Like, even look at the Meath game before the game, I was thinking, like, this isn't the Meath of old. I don't think they're that good. Like Shane Walsh, okay, Jordan Morris, but when you look at the players out the field, I literally didn't know who they were before the game. And they've just announced themselves now, and it had to be against Cork. It's like a lot of people were saying one step forward, 2 steps back. It's a bit back now for Cork, and like you said it earlier on the channel, we're 1 result away from crisis. I said on the JMAT podcast last week, this game's important. A lot of Cork fans were getting ahead of themselves, thinking, oh, we won the McGrath Cup, we beat Kerry by 12 points. The old Cork is back. We have a settled team, and I said it, we have a settled team this year, and we're building under John Cleary. But then at the start of this year, I'm thinking to the lads, to the Cork fans, relax, lads. It's the McGrath Cup. We have Meath next week. Meath could turn up in Páirc Uí Chaoimh and run asunder on us. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, it was just awful to watch. Like, at least Dublin performed poorly from your point of view and win a game. We perform really, really badly in one half of football, and we lose our first game. And all of a sudden now, we're staring down the barrel of a Italian Cup. I mean, how quickly fortunes can change within a few hours. I mean, it's incredible, Aaron.
Yeah, it's mad, all right. And Joseph says, since we lost, or there was another comment here, Cork have been in that cycle since 2015, since we lost that controversial Munster final replay. Yeah, like, I mean, and that's the thing with Cork, and that's why I even said, and I was saying it to you, and, you know, obviously I'm in my predictions video as well, where I was even saying, like, you know, Cork are always 1 defeat away from a crisis, and you know, like since they've won the All-Ireland, really, maybe sort of in 2012, 2013, they kind of looked fairly well, and they were consistent enough back then. But it just seems like one bad result, and it all just comes tumbling down. And you even look at the fixtures now as well. Kildare next, away from home, and then Dublin at home. And look, Dublin didn't look particularly great, to be fair, but you'd expect them to, you know, be a little bit better by the time they play Cork in about 2-3 weeks' time. So, like, all of a sudden for Cork, I mean, like, if they don't get anything from those 2 games, all of a sudden then it's another relegation battle.
And I'll tell you this for a fact, Aaron, we won't. We won't. Looking at the game, particularly yesterday, like the amount of, I know Finian Hanley was saying, he's from the JMAC podcast as well, give it time. Kevin Walsh, I played under him. He's an excellent tactician and all that, but like, he's not going to fix the problem within a week. I don't know what was going on defensively. Like, some of the players just switched off yesterday completely. I don't know what was the issue. Like, we make Meath look like prime Dublin with forwards like Jordan Morris and Shane Walsh. And to be honest, they're the only recognisable lethal forwards that Meath had yesterday. Imagine when we come up against Jimmy Hyland, Jack Robinson, and Derek Kieran next week in Newbridge. We are going to get destroyed. You know, and another thing, like, cynicism as well. Like, I thought this Cork team turned the corner last year. Oisin McConville was even mentioning the game management was there against the likes of Limerick, against Dublin, against Louth, and against Kerry last season. But when you look at the free count, and this was particularly interesting, my stats yesterday. Cork conceded 9 frees, Meath conceded 23. You might think Meath are a dirty team, but whenever Cork were moving up the field, Meath had the cynicism to drag them down. You know, be smart in your play, defend properly, tackle properly. Meath had that, you know, they didn't have recognisable players in their defence, but boy, they were well able to tackle. We weren't able to tackle yesterday. And I mean, where we go from here now, and I don't know, like, we'll probably lose to Kildare next week. We'll lose to Dublin. That's just a write-off. I knew that from the get-go. Like, Dublin are just much better than us. All of a sudden, that Limerick game now in Páirc Uí Chaoimh is so important. If we manage to lose the Limerick now, lads are just going to leave to America, and we're staring down the barrel of a Tailteann Cup with half a team. I mean, it's like, it's tough times. It's just so disappointing, Aaron, because we had so much potential. Look at the McGrath Cup. A lot of people were bigging us up. James O'Donoghue was saying on the football pod, Cork are going to be a dark horse this year. We're going to go up from Division 2. We'll go to the Derry game in the last game of the season in Páirc Uí Chaoimh and thinking we could get promotion here. We can go up with Dublin, have a day out in Croke Park against Dublin in the league final. All of a sudden, that result yesterday, and our season has completely turned upside down. And I don't see where we're going to get any points out of our next 2 games, Aaron, honestly. Like, when you look at even further down the line, Limerick, we should beat Limerick, but you don't know about this Cork team. Clare, I don't think we'll beat them in Ennis now. I simply don't. I think Clare, you know, had the grit and determination we mentioned against Louth yesterday as well. So I think Clare is good as last year, really. You look at the next few games after that, we should beat Louth, but then again, that's in Drogheda, so you don't know what's going to happen there. And Derry are in the form of their lives as well, and will be gaining confidence to go on a promotion charge. So we could be looking at a situation where Cork have only 2 points on the board. Like, it's worrying times. Really, really worrying times. And from going from a situation where we're thinking we could be up there with the likes of Kildare, Derry and Dublin and challenging, you know, gaining a bit of confidence this season, again like Derry and Galway last season, to get to a semi-final out of the blue, to staring down the barrel of basically the Europa League of GA.